Alright, so the guy who has pretty much any freshwater fish you could want, what do you still want?
Okay, so... Alright guys, here we go.
They don't quite have the idea of what it actually takes to filter these aquariums.
Come here into a fish feeding ball frenzy. Now look over to the left.
Let's go, bitch.
What's up, YouTube? It's Mike here, back with another video. You already know what this one's about.
Right as you walk up to Ohio Fish Rescue, you have this beautiful aquascape pond for hashtag Team Tracy. Now, I got a few other clips to get us rolling on this tour. Some beautiful, beautiful tanks. The Frontosa tank is incredible. I just could not get enough of that. And of course, the beautiful bass setup right next to it. So amazing. Both contrast each other so well, having these two tanks right next to each other. But I got a bunch of footage right before the tour that Big Rich gives us to get us into it. So enjoy this footage and enjoy the tour.
They all think they're going to be fed.
Look at this gator here, this fat one. Look at the teeth coming up.
See him.
Holy sh**. That is at least a 4-footer.
The only reason why you really can't see the teeth on the platinums is because they're white.
They're white.
Look at Bruce.
You guys made quick work out of this pond here. I mean, I know you guys put a hell of a lot of time into it, but it came along very fast. I followed all the videos on it.
It was really quick.
Because it's big.
We had help every Sunday or Saturday.
Okay. People
would come over and help us. But, you know, we had all week long to get ready for that one day to where we get a lot done in that one day with a lot of people here.
Yep.
See fish everywhere. All right? Come back over here, right by me. Now watch, every fish in this tank come here into a fish feeding ball frenzy. Now look over to the left. There's no fish.
That's crazy.
And they'll do that no matter how many times a day you put food in there.
Wow. That's insane.
But the more you look, the more you find, and even some rarer ones and some oddball ones and some, you know, ones that like, people are like, oh, there's that Malusis, you'll never get him, he'll kill everything in there. He's got along with everything. So you want to know everything about the filtration at OFR. It's basically right behind me, but there's so much more that you don't see. But let's go with the main filtration. You guys remember me, a long time ago, I was real big on monster fish keepers, and I went cross country and saved 19 fish from this guy in Oregon. Huge 4-foot fish. This right here is an 800-gallon square, basically liner pond that I built for that trip. It fit inside the truck. It's 4 foot by 8 foot inside dimensions, 4 foot tall. It's 800 gallons. Well, after that, we got them fish back. We didn't lose any, and we've had them ever since. We've never had a use for it. There's no viewing windows or nothing. So what we did, I went up to Steve's shin, and he built me this acrylic thing. What it is, it's got 9 7-inch holes in it for filter socks. We use 100 micron socks. They're 32 inches long, and there's 9 of them. When they fill up, you know, this will overflow. I got an overflow bin right here going into the tub, about midway in the center there. So usually there's water anywhere from here to here, but when it starts to get filled up, this will be almost full. The water will be overflowing there. I know to clean the socks. The socks are your first barrier of filtration. 100 micron, any big chunks get stuck inside the socks. Water then slows down out of the socks, goes into this 800-gallon, I want to call it a settling chamber, and it slowly moves all the way across, and any kind of hardened minerals, everything at the bottom. There's silt down there. And then it overflows out the top here through this 3-inch pipe. Well, in the meantime, you've got these pothos, and I don't know if I can get up there and show you, but, yep, let me get a ladder here. This here is going to show you the power of the pothos plant. I got a piece of styrofoam floating on here, and if you can get in close to them roots, they're like 2 foot long.
Wow.
The whole bottom of that is just roots.
Yeah, I see it.
Well, their only job is to eat out the nitrates. Less water, you say. I don't have to do as much water changes. Brilliant idea for free, because this is just a little plant you got for $4 and you put in there. It's growing and growing and growing and growing, and it's grown over these tanks. It's all the way over into the pond over there. And so anyways, let me go to the second stage of filtration. Goes through this is a 4-inch pipe, not a 3-inch, I was wrong there. Comes over here, and then I've got it split up between 2 garbage cans. Yes, garbage cans. You can make a filter out of anything.
Absolutely.
So let me step in here, and I can be back there and show you a little better. These are old filter socks. Now what I use them for, I cut the hole in the bottom. Okay, you can see back there?
Yep.
All I do is I cover the water coming in so it ain't splashing. And it spreads out. Well, this is the bottom of a Walmart tub, like a toy tub. It was about this tall. I cut it out, and then I just drilled a whole bunch of holes in it. Now down in here is nothing but bio balls. And you know, they've been running for about 10 years. So this is the job to take the water, spread it out, and if you can see underneath there now, the water spreads out and comes out everywhere. And that's all you do. And look at the pothos, there's growing roots in there now. And it spreads out, goes over all the bio balls, and then I don't cut a hole in the bottom of the garbage can, I cut it in the side. That way I can turn it and direct which way I want the water to come out.
Great idea.
So I've got them both pointing this way towards the back wall. So it's shooting out and sending all this water right here coming this way. So that is the last. Now people say 3 types of chemical or filtration. You got mechanical, biological, which is this, and then you have chemical. People use charcoal to get rid of smells in their tanks. Now you guys have been here for 2 days. There's really no fish tank smell in here. If your chemistry is right on your tanks, you won't have no smell. You will not have to use. I haven't used charcoal in 10 years.
Yep.
So that's something that the stores. Oh, your tank smells. Buy this. You know.
Yep.
It's
Scam.
more beginning. So let me get this back in. You got to make sure these are flat. It's a problem. Otherwise, they don't disperse. Check. Not you, the stingray. I say watch out, and the cameraman backs up. All right, now if the water's going everywhere in there nice and evenly, you're good to go.
So this is handling the bio load of the entire room. Okay, all right. But then some tanks have their own individual filtration as well.
Every single tank. Back on me.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying.
Every single tank in here has its own mechanical filtration. I don't necessarily put biological on any tank, but I do have FX5s running with nothing but sponges in them and nothing up the center. Fast flowing, mechanical. Take the debris.
Gotcha.
So every tank has 1 or 2, or depending on the size, like that 1,800 gallon, it's got 3 FX5s on there. One's an FX6, but they're the same thing.
Yep.
This 1,000 gallon, I think it has 3. The 4,000 gallon over there actually has 2, but if you see on top, excuse me guys, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Let me come around and show you more of the individual here. They're coming from the 1,000 gallon there.
Yeah.
Water siphoning down around there and then going into this tank. So now this tank's got water coming in constantly, right? On the back side, I have an overflow. See the U-tube here?
Yeah.
Water passes through, goes that overflow, comes over here, and then see this white pipe right here? This is where the water's going to.
Gotcha.
It's passing through there. So every tank has a pass-through, so I don't have to do water change. It's constantly being fed with fresh water. Now this tank right here, it's being fed by this one. This is a quarter-inch hose. Not much water,
Yep.
but it's only 90 gallons. But if you check the nitrates in it, it's never more than 20.
Yep.
Now, the main water from this sump right here is getting pumped back up. The most water goes to this 4,000. Well, this 4,000, see these hoses? They feed this tank. They feed that 750. Water passes through, overflows this, goes to this tank. Water goes through, goes to that overflow, and goes to the drain.
Gotcha.
So all these tanks have water flowing through, and then if you want to walk around the backside of this tank, you can see there's, I think, 3, maybe 4 FX5s.
FX5s and
Yeah,
6s,
yeah.
yep.
So every single tank, like I said, I don't want to be redundant, but every tank has these FX5s on there for particulate removal, and then water passing through for the nitrate to keep low, and you know, the whole biosystem is on there. Well, now there's even more to this. Every tank has a pass-through, but come on around this way. Some of the bigger tanks have their own biological filtration because they're just too big for pass-through. The pass-through on this tank is this one hose right here. It's not very big for a 3,000 gallon tank.
Okay.
So it needs some of its own filtration. Right here, we have a pump going up to 2, they look like helicopter blades, and it spins water down and just all the way over, that's full of bioballs, and it falls back in.
So those are big trickle towers, basically.
Right, basically. And then, you know, on here, 2 SX5s on this 4,000. You see the intakes right there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you heard me earlier when I said you can make a filter out of anything, right?
Yep.
These filters I put on every tank is for mechanical only. So, there is a pump right there. See the bag around
I
it?
see it in the bag.
Let me close this.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
sorry about that, guys.
So we got a pump in there.
Airplane mode.
Right. Someone taught me that. So anyways, them pumps are running up to this tub on top. See the water splashing back in right here?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, that tub is full of pillow stuffing. It's just white, cottony looking stuff. I have the water coming in on top, goes through a spreader, through the pillow stuffing, and back in. And that keeps the...
That's the polisher.
Right. It's just a particulate,
Yep.
you know? Mechanical filtration. Well, there's another one right here. See the blue tub back there?
Yep.
You see the water falling back in here. So there is 4 mechanical filters on here. 2 FX5s and 2 tubs. Because I have the availability of throwing a tub up top there.
Right.
This
Yeah.
tank here, you don't because it's open top. You don't have a shelf, you know. So I use FX5s on here, and they're behind it underneath. I collect FX5s, 4, 5s, and 6s. That's all I use because you can buy a huge box of the sponge filters for it and put them in there, and they're cheap that way. You don't have to go to the local pet store and buy them for $7 a sponge. You know?
And a lot of times too, with people, they have the ability to keep these big fish. They have the room, they have the space, and they build tanks and ponds and stuff like that. But they don't quite have the idea of what it actually takes to filter these aquariums and things of that
Right.
nature. So you have a guy that sets something up and he puts the tiny filter on there and he kills all the fish.
Oh, not only kill him, but he works for months trying to keep the tank clean and got problem after problem. But so this is why, here's another problem I get with people setting up their filters. Oh, well, I did the whole 3-stage. I filled up the FX5. I got the bottom with this, and I got bio balls in there, and then I got polishing pads. With polishing pads on there, your filter clogs up within 3 weeks. I do maintenance on these once every 4 months because I just use the big foam pads, and I don't put nothing in the center. Now your flow can be at the fast as it flows. Here's the flow coming out. It's not going to be slowed down by them big sponges, and you're just catching the mechanical waste. And it makes my life easier. You see all the tanks are clean and clear, and I don't hardly do no work. Once every 4 months, we go around, and that's the bear of the day. That's why I'm going to invite you guys back over.
All right.
We take around every single FX5 apart and replace the sponges. And then the old ones, we take outside, wash, put in a box, and we'll use them again until they're disintegrating. So, you know, that's how we do it. We get it done, though. But it's the easiest. I don't have to worry about nothing. All the tanks are always clear. And, hey, come on through.
Come on, man.
In the other room, we've got a whole nother style of filtration. Come on this way. You guys ready? Okay. 1 second. We're going to check way over here. All right, so now out in this room, we have this aquascape ecosystem predator pond. Well, if you guys watch that build right here, this was 12 foot deep. Now what it has in it is it's called a wetlands filter. It's all the water is getting pumped down underneath like a reverse flow under gravel filter. It goes underneath and gets spread out through the aqua blocks, which all your bacteria can live inside all them aqua blocks down there like bioballs. But what it does is it comes through the caterpillar and it spreads out water and then slows down, goes across all these aqua blocks, and then very slowly comes up through the first layer of rock, about a foot, foot and a half, and it's huge rock, big thick rock. Then it goes through the second layer of rock, another foot and a half, and it's smaller, like 1-inch rock. Then it goes through the 1/4-inch rock that you see here, 1/2-inch rock, and then it comes out. So that keeps all the bacteria down under there, and it's a reverse flow. Well, what I did was, you can see right here, I have a pump right here that pumps up inside to my filter, goes through my inside filter. So we're pumping water from here through my filter in there, filling up that room in there. Well, water also comes back through this green hose here, and it comes back through here. We slowed it down just because it's the shat koi babies. We didn't want them to overflow out here. But usually that was open when I had all the cichlids in here. Believe it or not, all the cichlids in the 1800 were in this 350. It don't look like they fit, but they were in here for a year. And there was no depths. There was the whole bottom. You couldn't see sand. There was so much decorations in there. So, it worked fine. But now we slowed it down for the babies, and that's that. But we have water over here coming back also, going through all these plants, all through here, and then back down into here. So this filter and the main filter in there are working in conjunction together now, and all the water is circulating between everything.
Wow.
Now, the next step is plants. We're talking, you ever seen a farmer's pond? They got a pond in the back of their farm, and people go back there, big, huge bucket mouth bass, lily pads, frogs, turtles. You ever see a farmer changing his water? Right. No. It's because of natural filtration, the plants. Overrun with plants. That's the key. So, as you can see, we have a waterfall. We turn into the pool there. We have one right in this corner right here. What we're doing is we're running water up, down that little waterfall here. That goes through that river, all the way through all these plants, and then falls into the water here. So we're getting the plants to help remove the nitrates. The more nitrate removal I can have, the less water I can have turned on, pumping in, and costing me money. The more plants I add, the more I turn down the water. You can do this all day long and keep doing it. You got to throw it where it's going to hit him on top of his top lip.
Sick.
Okay, so now over here, you see we have the 700-gallon frontosa tank and this 1,000-gallon bass tank, peacock bass. You hear the gurgling, you see the splashing right there? That's water being pumped in. It overflows out here and gets returned. Same pass-through method, right? Come on over here. You see that we have this waterfall right here and that waterfall. The pumps that are in the water in that pool from the Greg Woodstock build pump water up, and it was just going through that waterfall and coming back into the pool. We can make better use of that. So right here, you can see, first off, forget about these two pipes. Let's go with this one. I put a wide pipe in and put a second waterfall in on the same pump running the same water. To do that, I had to put a valve on both so I could, equal out the pressure. So now we got two waterfalls running. We can do better than that. Now we put a 90 on coming this way from the big waterfall over there. That pump is now pumping over here, going up, runs across the top of this whole 3-tank system.
Oh, wow.
And that's what's feeding the water from the pool. The heated 83-degree water is pumped up to here. Now the overflows, they come down and they all come running back and run over to that waterfall. So the overflows of these fish tanks are now pushed in that waterfall because they're taller than the waterfall. We didn't have to add not one more pump, not one more heater, nothing. For these, all three of these, the 1,000, 700, and the 500 to be online now. They're just running off of what used to just run the waterfall. But now there is this big, 2-inch pipe that people can't trip over. We're going to build a little ramp up and over, like they do cords and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we're going to do that eventually.
All right, so the guy who has pretty much any freshwater fish you could want, but what do you still want?
Okay, so something we've actually had in the past that we do not have now. I always love my Wetlands catfish. They are just super hard to find, and I will own one again one day. Same thing with my goonch catfish. My goonch had passed away. He's actually in the freezer. He was 26 inches.
That's a big goonch.
Was my favorite goonch, or actually he was my favorite catfish, I'm sorry. And one day I will have him back, but once I can give him the setup that he actually deserves. So I'm not just going to toss him into a setup and hope he survives. I'm actually going to do a river skate for him, a high flow stream, and give him the conditions, the optimal conditions, so he can actually thrive. And I must say, one fish that is illegal that I wish I could have that I can't have, most people would say the Asian arrow. That's not it for me. Most people would say snakeheads. Not it for me. I'd love to have a Chinese, not the Chinese Welsh, a Welsh catfish straight from Europe. They get huge. They're man-eating size. We had one before, but that was before the ban. We had to get rid of it, unfortunately. So if I could have one fish that was illegal, the Welsh would be my boy.
Oh yeah.
Got a big wallago back there.
Big Betty shaking her head over there. Hell no, I don't like you. Look at them stacking. It's funny when they do that. Well guys, that just about wraps up our tour of Ohio Fish Rescue. It was mostly focused on filtration, as you guys see. Big Rich took us through how they filter all these tanks, and man, we had an amazing time. Awesome hospitality from Big Rich and Josh Price. I can't thank them enough for having me. And also great to see Evan, IFG, come out and spend some time with us and get to tour the facility at the same time. So shout out to IFG and all them guys, everyone who came out. Thank you guys so much, and thanks for having me. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until the next one, I will see you in the next video. Thanks guys.